women's cycling is booming.
When somebody mentions the Tour de France, you can just assume that they're talking about the women's tour, because, why would they not be?
The Tour de Femme has opened new doors for rising stars to show their talent. New sponsors bring fresh opportunities, as well as challenges for teams looking to build that next star.
Erin Boothman takes a brilliant win and the title.
Live AlUla Jayco have always been at the forefront of developing female riders.
Look at Mavi Garcia, pain etched on this rider's face.
However, that level up is not achieved simply by chance. And is the landscape changing too quickly?
It's a win for Mavi Garcia of Live AlUla Jayco.
In this episode, we find ourselves in Glasgow, asking the question, what is the pathway for young female cyclists to find that level up?
I'm Erin Boothman, I'm 18 years old and I live in Glasgow. We're in Glasgow Velodrome, basically where I've grown up on the track. I've had broken collarbones here, I've had winning racing, and basically learning how to ride a velodrome. Yeah, it's definitely a place full of memories for me. I grew up just outside of Glasgow and I've always lived in the same kind of area. It's kind of good for me because we're 20 minutes from the velodrome and then pretty much out straight to the countryside, so it's ideal. The weather's pretty brutal, but I think when I was younger I didn't know anything different, so I just thought you just get tough as nails all through the winter, and then in the summer it's a bit easier. But now I've been exposed to the nice weather in Spain. It's certainly much harder when I come home now.
I'm Danny, I'm Erin's dad. So Erin is very determined and very focused. She's great fun, she kind of lights up a room. She's a good team player, she's a really sociable girl, and most people quite like her. I think she's got a bit of charisma. We always did a bit of cycling just for fun as a family.
We always used to ride on holiday on the islands in Scotland.
But really my wife Louise took her to East Kilbride Road Club, which is a local cycling club, really took her under their wing, and I think they realised that she had a bit of potential.
And from then on I kind of just got further into it myself. Around about 14, they do something called like a race national. Everyone under the age of 16 gets together and they do outdoor sessions on the road, and that's probably when I started. And throughout the year was just trying to get good results on the road, try and kind of prove myself to get on this pathway. First road race was under 14 in Edinburgh, and it was around the airfield, and I remember there was probably like 10 of us girls, and it was part of the Scottish series, and I remember winning it and just being like, oh, I won. I think it was maybe 10 female riders from the whole of the UK got brought together. At that point in time it was the most special thing to do, and get to put on the GB jersey, and that's kind of where it all started. Well, I've actually always ridden a live bike since I started racing, so I've always loved them and I've always thought they were super nice, but the new one is definitely a whole level up, and the one, yeah, I love riding it, and yeah, I just love it. I think eventually there's probably going to be that race that both sides of road and track want to be, but for now it's working really well, and I'd like to try and keep it going for the next few years of trying to do both and just try and make it work between the team and between GB, and yeah, for now it's working.
I think generally the road I find more exciting. I just find it unbelievable that it isn't just a big mangled crash.
The biggest one I had was breaking my collarbone. I actually did it in the velodrome here in Glasgow. That wiped me out for getting on for 2 months before I got back to doing what I was normally doing.
Accidents happen. As a parent you do worry, your heart's in your throat a fair bit of the time, and there is quite often a relief when the race is done.
It's just kind of dealing with them when they come round, doing what you can.
I think on balance you do get the bad stuff. It makes us so happy. It's just been a really positive thing in our life, so you have to take the rough with the smooth, I suppose.
Much to Erin Boothman, senior national champion for the first time in her career at the age of 19.
That's a kind of a very surreal dad moment, to be honest. In fact, the last year has all been a bit of a fairy tale. I have to keep pinching myself.
It is going to be a very interesting match.
Main inspiration for sure is Katie Archibald. She's a top class athlete on the track. I remember seeing her in Glasgow Track League.
Katie was always an amazing role model for Erin.
Probably is part of the reason I started racing on the velodrome.
Looking for space on the inside, isn't going to find it.
Almost you have that in the back of your mind, like, oh my god, I'm on the podium with these two. And
seeing it all the way home, and Erin Boothman example ahead of Anna Morris. What a brilliant rider, second silver medal for Morris and a first gold for Erin Boothman, who can't quite believe it.
You saw in the video I was literally in disbelief. My emotions came out a lot after the finish, and to beat them, I think for me it was a huge confidence boost, and also B, just like, it's nice to see that I'm getting to that stage and this hopefully eventually be the same level as those two. Just on the outskirts of Glasgow, in the best bit of Scotland. Sometimes it's worse than this, but yeah, it's a pretty Scottish day today. It's cold, the roads are wet, it's the norm. I did my exams when I was a first year junior, and I pretty much had to sacrifice my whole year on the road as a junior to get my exam results. I then applied for uni and got a place to do an unconditional to do pharmacy. Deferred that for now, but I certainly, when I got the choice and knew I was going to be able to sign a contract, pharmacy certainly was the B option.
Certainly last year when she won the GreenEDGE and then Ghent, and things started to look pretty, I mean, if it was me, I would be choosing a professional sports career as well, to be honest.
When I became a second year junior and I started winning junior races and I started getting offers from teams, I think that's when, yeah, both my parents were like, if you don't take the chance now, then you'll certainly regret that later, and you can always go back to uni.
La corredora Erin Boothman, que se va a imponer.
Well, it's becoming probably one of the most important areas of the World Tour teams at the moment. Continuous discussions on where you can look for the next talent and how you can find that talent.
The idea of that team is for us to look and scout for the next generation coming through, the next level of talent, and that's the trajectory we want to be going with this team.
Once they come on board with our development team, that we're really looking out for their development and their best interests, and developing the rider as a whole, not just as the athlete.
We've been doing that for a good 3 years now, and finally we've seen the fruits of it as have come up from that development team, and definitely shown that it's the right way to go.
It's certainly getting more and more competitive. A lot of the World Tour teams now have their own development teams, and if not, an affiliation with a team that they look to put their riders into. I still think that women's cycling is developing. Each year we see more races added, better conditions for World Tour riders, a greater recognition for female athletes on the biggest scene in July, with some fantastic footage.
Even 5 years ago, hardly anything was televised and they weren't paid enough, and the winnings was always the big shock.
As a dad of two daughters who both enjoy the sport, growth in women's cycling is fantastic. It feels like it's come at just the right time for Erin.
So Erin's had a great background. She's worked her way up through the British scene, and we picked her up after seeing some great results from her.
I think what they had to offer was huge for me, and I think the kind of contract that they offered with the development for 1 year and then 2 years World Tour was literally exactly what I wanted.
Boothman starts the sprint. Harmonin is trying to come over Boothman. Boothman's going strong, but Harmonin looks to be coming past.
Whenever you spoke to people about the team, it was always, yeah, it's a really good place to be, and everyone in the team seemed really happy. I think it just was the right choice for me, and they really have offered a great development pathway for me.
I think it's going to be Boothman. It's Boothman. Boothman takes the win.
She'll be moving up to our World Tour team hopefully very soon.
This rider, she's 19-year-old Scottish rider on the British team as well for the track.
Clearly, to get to this level, there is talent, but you've also got to really work hard, and that's one thing that she definitely does do.
You've got to give everything, and I would certainly regret it if I hadn't given it my all when I was a junior, because you can now make a career of it, and you've got to back yourself.
That kind of win when she's already signed up for the World Tour team for next year is a real confidence boost.
What I tell her, I would say just to keep going, everything's going to work out and it's going to be brilliant.